What is going on, everybody? It's Lazevo here. Happy Easter to you all. I'm bringing you some more Battlefield 3 gameplay. I'm not going to talk specifically about this gameplay. What I want to talk about is the Battlefield 3 patch that came out on April 3rd for the Xbox 360. Now, this patch has been out for a while for the PC and PS3, and it was just released, like I said, this week for Xbox 360. Since that's primarily what I play on, I figured I would put some time into it, really get some hours behind it, and then kind of bring you my thoughts and tell you guys a little bit about the patch. Maybe you guys aren't aware that it was patched. I've been live streaming this, and I know I get a lot of questions like, hey, what did they change? What did they do? And so I'm going to talk about some of the things that I noticed, some of the things you'll initially see right away, and then I'm going to link you guys in the description below to a website on the Battlefield 3 site that shows you a list of everything they changed, because it's massive. There's a massive overhaul. So I guess without further ado, let's get right into it. The first thing you'll notice is that there's no more long wait timers in between games or at the start of games. There used to be kind of a long wait timer in between the games, and that was kind of, it just slowed the whole pace of everything down, you know what I mean? You just had this long wait. And also right when you're spawning, there was like a 30-second timer or something. It was ridiculous. So now that is gone. You won't see that when you play. And what that means is you're not going to have a whole lot of time to adjust things at the start of a game. So you really want to have your classes set up. You don't want to be messing with that right away, because if you're playing things like Rush, the attacking teams, if they decide to come force the first bomb site or whatever, you're going to be still changing your classes, and they're going to be planting the bomb. So you want to get into it right away and go at it pretty hard. So just as a pro tip, have your stuff set up and rush at the beginning, and that's that. You'll also notice that in between games you have the option to quit now, which is really nice, because it used to be like, if you wanted to back out and get in a party or something like that, you would actually have to wait until the next game started in order to quit. So you'll notice now in between games you can just hit B and backs you out to the main menu. So that's pretty nice, and a feature that probably should have been in there from the beginning. The Stingers have a reduced range, but in turn they're more effective when you are able to lock on. So the idea is that the Stingers aren't going to be able to control the whole map like they used to be able to, but they are going to be able to control a smaller area better, and they're going to take things down. And I think it's a one-hit disable if you get hit with the Stinger. So you got to watch out for those things, and just know that if you're in the air in a chopper or jet, just get away when you're being locked onto, because it's probably a Stinger, it's probably from the ground, and if all you got to do is get out of range, which, like I said, it's been significantly reduced. Next thing you'll notice is that the spawn protection, which was almost unnoticeable before, has been increased by a second. Now, I've already noticed this a few times. When you spawn on your teammates, basically what that means is you're going to be invincible until you move your character or shoot. You're allowed to look around and still be protected, but if you move or shoot, the spawn protection ends, and it only lasts 2 seconds, but it's enough to where if someone's firing at you, they're going to unload almost their whole clip thinking that they're going to kill you, or maybe unload enough to where they would think they should normally kill you and then look away. And so what you want to do is really do a little spin around the area, just to make sure when you're coming into the game that that no one's firing on you, no one's right around you, because like I said, you are protected until you take a step or shoot, and that only lasts 2 seconds. So it just gives you enough time to look around, but just know that too when you see an enemy pop up, that he could be under this spawn protection. Okay, let's see. The other thing you'll notice, and I have a little clip at the end of this video showing that, is the engineer's little blowtorch. It's actually really effective against taking out an enemy vehicle. If you can sneak up behind guys in a tank or LAV or something like that, you're going to be able to take them out really quick with the blowtorch. So just kind of hold it on there. They increase the damage done by that torch. So just a little FYI thing to know. That's a little good tip. What I've found too is in jets and choppers, the ECM is really effective. Basically, the ECM jammer breaks the lock-on from any Stingers, any other air support. I've seen a lot of guys run it, so you're going to want to try to unlock that as soon as possible for your air support, and I would recommend running that. The other thing I've seen that was really effective, I ran into a jet pilot that was probably the best pilot I've ever faced, and he was running the extinguisher. So basically, he would let you disable him with a stinger or with a heat seeker, and he would just kind of fly up in the air, and then next thing you know, he would be right back in the fight because the extinguisher puts out the fire and fixes the vehicle. And he was super effective. I mean, combine that with he was like the most skilled pilot I've ever seen, and he was pretty deadly. So if you're a pretty good pilot, you might want to take a strategy on like that. And like I said, he was the best guy I've ever faced in my life. I mean, instant death if you got in a jet. So the jets and the choppers are easier to fly now. Choppers especially, it's really easy to hover. I feel like they've made it much easier to fly. If you thought they were really difficult before, you might want to give them another try. Don't think they're going to be super easy, but they are a lot easier, especially to hover and things like that. If you want to, kind of hover over an objective and have your gunner mow everybody down, that kind of thing, you're going to be a lot more likely to be able to pull that off. Heat seekers in the air are really deadly. So air-to-air heat seekers lock on really quick now. So they've what I've noticed is the time that it takes for that lock on to occur is really shortened. And also, if they flare it, it no longer breaks the lock, which means if you can hold that lock by keeping them in your sight, you're going to be able to go ahead and pull off the next shots very quickly as soon as your heat seekers reload. So I would recommend running those. Now, they've added a create a server feature, which is awesome because it lets you set up a game type however you want. The problem with it is that when people select quick match, it actually places them into these servers. So you'll get into servers where it'll be like, we don't want you to use tack lights, and if you use a tack light, you'll be kicked, and it allows the admin to kick people. I've been kicked from numerous games, and it sucks. And whatever. I think there's a place for that, but I don't think I think if you want to play something like in a quick match, it should put you in just a normal game, just a normal server. So that's just my thoughts on that. You guys may think differently. You'll also know sometimes the scores, if you get in these custom servers, the scores will be like really, really huge. So it'll take like 2 hours to finish a game of Conquest because it'll start with 1,500 tickets a piece or whatever, which is just crazy, And like I said, I think there's a place for that, and I think you should be able to select that from the server browser, but not from Quick Match. That's just my thoughts. They've nerfed the frag rounds for the shotguns, which is kind of nice. They've reduced the splash damage and the fire rate on the frag rounds. So that's kind of their fix for the USAS that everybody hates. If you play Battlefield, you probably got killed by the USAS frag rounds. Everybody hates that. There's been some visual updates. I feel like when people die, their little skulls are more defined, which is kind of nice. You can see where your teammates are dying. They've also added hash marks to the minimap to show you where the out-of-bounds areas are, which is really nice if you get stuck in there or something, like maybe your vehicle crashes. It'll kind of give you a reference for how far you got to run to get out of there, which is pretty nice. Suppression is really heavy now. I've noticed, I read through all the changes, and it looks like they've just changed it for certain guns, but I've noticed that it just feels like when you are suppressed, that it has a much greater effect than it ever has before. So if you guys get in there, you'll notice that. There's been some parachute changes. Parachutes are much more responsive. You can kind of speed them up, slow them down, turn them. If you speed them up, be careful because you may smack the ground harder than you want to. Let's see here. I got to just run through my list here. Like I said, the Stinger locks on really quick, disables in one hit, but has limited range. I mentioned that already. The MAV is no longer able to kill you when it runs into you. People would get in that MAV and just kind of spam it, and it was guys who were really good at it, getting 60 kills a game and stuff like that, just running into people. So that's been changed. So you won't have to worry about facing that, and you can no longer use it as an elevator to kind of get up to different areas of the maps, especially like something like Turan Highway, which was really common getting up on the overpass there. They've added horns to all the Jeeps, and if you hit the left bumper on the Xbox controller, it'll actually lay on the horn, which is awesome. It's kind of turned into the new teabag when you roadkill somebody. You can kind of park your vehicle right over top of them and lay on the horn. A couple other key tips, just real quick. Disabled vehicles have increased reverse speed. These are some things that I've noted that maybe will help you out going down the road here. But yeah, vehicles disabled have increased reverse speed, so you can kind of get out of area, try to get some cover and repair your vehicle. Use reverse, and you can knife equipment to destroy it. which is pretty cool. I think that's a cool thing. You don't have to sit there and fire your gun at it and wait for it to blow up. C4 cannot be detonated after you die. However, it can be detonated if you're revived within 5 seconds, I think, after you're downed. So that's just something to keep in mind. If there's C4 and you kill the guy and he doesn't get revived, you don't have to worry about it blowing up again. You're allowed 6 mines maximum now. If you try to lay down more than that after you die, it'll just start to, take out the ones that you placed first. So you can only have 6 on the map at any time. Claymores will disable jeeps now, and they'll kill people in the jeeps. So just a little tip, if you guys want to play around with those claymores, you can have 2 of those on the map at a time. Let's see. You can no longer place a mortar in a spawn protected area or an out of bounds area for the other team, which is kind of nice because that used to be really common. People would spawn in, lay down a mortar, and start firing that thing. And the last note I have here is, well, I've already talked about it. Flares don't break the lock on. So that's it. That's all the little tips and tricks and things. If you guys want to know more, read the whole list. It's really long. The link will be in the description below. I've been having fun with the patch. I do like it so far. I think they've done a good job of making it more balanced, more fun, and I look forward to playing some more in the future. If you guys want to be involved in any of my live streams, follow me on Twitter and like my Facebook page. I will always post on there when I'm live streaming. So do those things. Links to those are in the description. That's it for me, guys. This is longer than what I wanted. So like I said, happy Easter, and I will talk to you later. Thanks.